No, stop!
For me, or for the books?
Guy, wake up, Guy. Guy, he's here. Beatty's here. Wake up, Guy.
Guy, the door.
What? Huh?
Someone's here. I think it's Beatty.
Can you get it, dear?
Yes.
Beatty, I meant to call.
You're sick, Montag?
Yeah, how'd you know?
I've seen it all. You were going to take the night off. Well, take the night off. When will you be well?
Tomorrow, the next day, maybe in a week.
I see. You know, this happens now and again. Every fireman I've known has hit this before. You need only to know the history of our profession to cure yourself of these plaguing emotions. Happiness, Montag, that is the history of our work.
Here, Montag, let me adjust your pillow.
Stop, Millie.
No, it's fine.
Stop.
Just let me.
Stop.
Think of all the many choices in our past society, such a tidal wave of conflicting information, and so many narrow holes in which to drably snake the tsunami through. Which is best? Which is worst? Which is right? Which is wrong? Which is easiest? Which is hardest? Does it matter? Does any of it matter? The choices in philosophy affect the individual, but also the society. Just look to 1918, the year of the Great Armistice, peace at the cost of longevity. This very peace which ended a war also opened the door for Hitler. We are the soldiers who march against what comes through the doors opened by philosophy, science, and by the other applications of knowledge in a way that might make our existence more difficult.
And is this happiness?
This is what happiness has been whittled down to by a society too scared to face the true implications of their shadows. All that is left to observe is the reflection, a cold, empty reality. This is happiness, a bliss where the one threat is knowledge. Yes, we educate our children, but we are only shoving facts into their brain as to choke it into never questioning. Happiness. This is happiness to prove that when Shakespeare said that which we call a rose by any other name would smell just as sweet, he was being satirical. Our society has morphed happiness in such a way that it is no longer has any relevance in the profound, but only an inserted concreteness grounded in simple bliss.
Just let me adjust your pillow.
Stop.
Look uncomfortable.
Stop, Millie.
Just
leave it!
You know, Montag, I once knew a fireman who never understood what I have just told you. He could recite the whole history of our institution to anyone who dared ask. He knew the names and dates better than even I, but despite this, he never stopped asking questions. These weren't questions about historical events or figures, but he knew all of those answers. They were questions like, why would someone rather be imprisoned or killed than give up books? I always told him they're just simple-minded lunatics. One night, we got a report of a woman harboring books, and so we went.
When we arrived, we noticed nothing out of the ordinary as we inspected the exterior of the home. We knocked on the door. The door opened without hesitation, and it revealed a woman. I ordered her to leave, but she simply returned into the home. I sent my men in after her, and they began inspecting the house for books. They were quickly found, and the men began to prepare the home for burning. The woman was unmoving, still. After the fire was prepped, the firemen I was telling you about began to plead with the woman to leave. She was still and silent. When my man was near to falling on his knees begging the woman to save herself, she pulled a match from her pocket and struck. The strange fireman ran and came back to where we were, standing just in time to save himself. The rest of the night he did not speak, except one word. Why?
None of us saw him for about a week, until one night a report came in with his address. When we arrived and entered the house, we saw the strange fireman once more. Below his swinging body were several books, all poetry. As we began to remove them, we discovered his uniform buried below the books. My men thought it only right to dress him in uniform once more before we began the burn. And so we did, and so we burned. If only he had had the sense to burn the books himself, this would have all been avoided. He would have been allowed back into his job, and the instance forgotten. Well, I'll be going now, Montag. I expect you'll be well by tomorrow. Either way, I'll see you then.
Millie, I have something to show you.
What is it, Guy?
Oh my god.
We're accomplices. We're in this together.
No, I can't be in this.
It's alright.
No!
Mildred. Look. God